Hi guys. Alright, I promised you vlog style updates on my reading, so that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a whole bunch of vlog style, hopefully not too shaky footage. What I'm going to be doing is piecing together a whole bunch of these video clips as I finish books, and at the end of the month, this will be my review. And then this way, I can give you thoughts on the books right as I read them. Let's get into this, shall we? Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. This is the second book of the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and this one took me a really long time to read. I think I started on July 17th, and today is August 1st, and I just wrapped this up. This was so slow, and I wanted to love this. Like, I wanted to love this so much. The first one took me about half of the book to get into. This one took me more than half of the book to get into. Like the first one, the second half of the book really picks up. But until then, it feels like nothing's happening. And for the second book of the series, that's not how it should feel. The world building is over. Like, we should have just gone right into the story. Side characters in this, again, Susanna and Mick are amazing. I gave it 3 stars. I'm a little bit nervous about the third one. That's my update for now. I will see you in the next clip when I update you with whatever I read next. I am here with another one of my vlog style wrap-ups. It is Sweet Tooth in Captivity. This is volume 2 of the Sweet Tooth graphic novel series by Jeff Lemire. Wanna say it's like a 3-star read. I'm not happy with the way the plot's going. I do have volume 3, so I am going to read that, but it's not my favorite so far that I have read. And it's, I can't like really tell you much about this, but you basically have a world where like a disease is killing off the adults, and there's like these hybrid children being born that are part animal, part children. Some of them are more like aware and human and able to communicate than others. And they're basically trying to figure out what is going on, what's causing the disease. These hybrid animal human children are the only ones not getting the disease and dying. So they're trying to study and find out what about these kids is keeping them alive, and basically using that to save the humans that are left. It's weird. I read Sweet Tooth volume 3, and I think this is probably going to be the last one of this particular volume that I read. I don't love the storyline. I don't love the characters. I don't love the art style. So unfortunately, just not my thing. On to the next clip. But I finished The Wicked and the Divine. This is by Gillian McKelvey, Wilson, and Cowles. It's up there on the top. This was interesting. This is about every 90 years, like 12 gods come back to Earth in human form. Then those humans only have so long to live, but they have these godlike powers while they're alive, and you're trying to get to know the gods. There's like a human girl who's like a god groupie. I don't understand it, but I liked it. I wasn't mad about it. I will probably continue with this if my library has it. I don't know if this is going to be something that I buy. I think I gave it 3 stars. There were some really cool aspects to it. The art style was really dark and different, and I enjoyed that. It was diverse. That's gonna be it for graphic novels for a while though, because I've got Tome Topple going on and other really large books that I needed. I'll see you with the next book update. I finished The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson last night. This is a Tome Topple read for me, and it was struggle bus city, guys. I ended up giving this 3 stars, but it's probably more like a 2.5, and I'm being generous. I did not connect with Andy, who's the main character in this. She's got all these like rigid ways of like keeping people out. I never really got the friend group. I never really got that dynamic. I didn't understand the drama and conflict there between a couple of the side characters, a couple of the girls. A horrible relationship with her father at the beginning of the book. The progression there and the arc for that story was cute. The main character's love interest was really adorable. Andy's one of those girls who doesn't get the pop culture references. She is not a reader. She doesn't read books, which I can't even cope with that. Unfortunately, not a book that I loved, but I'm done it, and I at least have a Tome Topple book done. The Host, which I finished. I'm gonna actually link you directly to the entire discussion that I do on this. It was a 5 out of 5 star read. This is a reread, and I bumped it from 4 to 5 because it's just amazing. I'm so glad that I reread it. The writing's amazing, the character development is amazing, I love the characters, and I just had so much fun actually reading it. Read it if you haven't yet. That's my advice. I'll link you up above. Just go watch my whole thing on it because it's so good. It's gonna be spoilery though, so don't watch my Throwback Thursday unless you're ready for spoilers. Quick update on my reading. Sorry, that was crooked. I finished Twisted Palace. This is by Aaron Watt and somebody else. It's like a duo. This is the 3rd book. This is the last one that's published, but I am reading a 3.5 like novella on Wattpad right now. I will be doing a full review on this series. I love this book. I think I gave it 3 stars. I gave it 3 because it's still like a fluffy contemporary, but I honestly could not love this more. I love Reed, I love Ella. Easton and Seb and Sawyer, Gideon, and I love all of them. The ending to this was like ridiculous. Like I said, I'll have a full review on just this series. I will just link that up above and you can check that out there. I finished Whichwood by Tahereh Mafi. This is the companion novel to Furthermore. I don't know how I feel about it, to be completely honest. It is still a middle grade. It is marketed in the front here. Middle grade 10 and up. You can see it. I question that. Really, really, really dark. And I loved the message. I liked the different cultural aspects of it. It's Persian, and I liked the food and some of the different aspects that you could tell were like ethnically probably accurate. I don't know if this is based on Persian folklore. That might make a little bit more sense. It's terrifying. There's parts of it that were really graphic and really gory and bloody, and I think that there's a difference between giving credit to young readers and then just terrifying them, and parts of this were just terrifying. The overall arcing message of it was really, really cute. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars, but it's probably more of a 3.5. Still really, really, really glad that I read this. I'm going to do a full video review on this that will go up closer to the publication date, which is November 14th. This Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars. I was not a fan. If I did not have to read this for the traveling book, I probably would not have finished this. It was definitely a problematic book. There was word usage in this that I did not appreciate. There was themes that I didn't appreciate, like the idea that now that you're pretty, your life gets easier. There was the use of the word retard and gay as slurs, and I did not appreciate either of them. This book is about 10 years old, but still not acceptable. I didn't like it. I didn't like the main character. I did not like that the love triangle pitted 2 siblings against one another. Really, really bothered me. I will not be continuing with this series, but it's a traveling book, so I will keep it on my bookshelf because memories. I finished Lead, which is the 3rd Stage Dive series book. That one follows Jimmy and his sobriety counselor, guide, helper, I don't know. Definitely cute. I love that series in general. Jimmy is not my favorite of the band members, and it wasn't my favorite relationship just because it was one of those situations where like a sexual relationship was started when there was very clearly a misbalance of emotional investment, and that always like sets me a little bit on edge, but all worked out happily in the end, which it doesn't usually happen, so you know, use caution. Not my favorite of the books, but not bad. And then I finished Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and that I think I gave 4 stars to. It's so not my genre, like not my kind of book at all. Ended up really, really liking it still. And I don't know if it was just the listening to it or if I just got invested enough, I was able to follow it because it wasn't too sciencey. Like it was sciencey, but not like overly sciencey. They just kind of went with the theory. It led to like interesting internal discussions with myself about the path not taken. So I appreciated that book. I thought it was really, really cool. 4 stars for that one. Lead got 3 stars. Quick update. I finished On the Fence by Casey West, and I actually really enjoyed it. This is by far my favorite Casey West book that I have read so far. It was about a tomboy, never really dated, and then starts dating, falls for the neighbor. Classic stuff. It was cute, and out of all of Casey West books, like done the best. Still 3-star read. Redeeming Casey West. I was impressed by it. The Girl in 6E by A.R. Tour, which I'm going to reserve too many thoughts on because I haven't written a review yet and I have thoughts, but I want to wait until the live show. At the time that this goes up, the live show will be over, so I will link that in a card up above. I loved this book, and I did annotate this as I was reading. Psychological parts of this book were definitely a high point for me. It is an erotic thriller, but it's not like erotic for no reason, in my opinion. I was really interested in the amount of research that went into this, like clearly went into this, and I loved getting into Deanna's mind. The psychology nerd in me adored it, so I will definitely be continuing with this series because I'm obsessed. I really liked this book. I gave it 5 stars, I think. You get the last look at my hair before I go get it re-dyed. It's gonna look completely different later on tonight, and I should have an update for you later tonight because I believe I will be done deep. But I did finish a book this morning, and I finished Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. I finished this again, a mix of audio and actual physical reading of this book. Not gonna lie, this entire series was struggle bus city. It was really difficult for me to get into like the parts of the first book, difficult for me to get in parts of the second book, difficult for me to get into parts of the third book. Third book was a lot easier when I switched to audiobook. I ended up giving this book 4 stars because there was still a bit of a struggle, but I loved it. I can't seem to like reconcile the fact that I loved this series with the fact that it was difficult to read, but I did. I absolutely loved it. I loved the character development, the character arcs. I loved that this wasn't wrapped up in like an everything's perfect and beautiful kind of a way. Like there's still struggles and twists and turns. There's no formula to these stories. Each one of them is very unique. Don't see different things coming, and I love that about this author and this writing. I'm really excited to read more from her. I have Strange the Dreamer. I do want to read that soon. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break for September and maybe try to hit that up in October. But this is so good, and I adore Zeus and Mick and Akiva and Karu and Loraz. I love them all. Ziri. I just can't. They're so good. Audiobooks totally helped. So if you're thinking about picking this up and you're not sure about it, pick up the audiobooks. They're really well done. Just give them a try. I will see you later with really crazy different hair. I finished another book as suspected. I did finish the Stage Dive series, the last of which books was Deep by Kylie Scott. By all means, there was nothing like amazing about any of these books, but I definitely appreciated them. I found them really endearing. I liked the characters, I liked the women, I liked the guys, I liked the character depth. I think all around probably 3 stars across the board, which is about as high as I go for those kinds of books. Deep, and that centered around Ben, who was the bass player, and the girl that he was interested in, Lizzie. Of course, you get like updates from the rest of the band members and all of their relationships from prior books, and then it wraps up in like an epilogue so you can see how everything's going with everybody. It was nice. I felt like I understood where everybody was in their relationships and their lives. That series was a win for me. If you were interested in that series, I say give it a go. I am here with the last of my reading updates. I thought I was done, but I realized I forgot to mention a couple of books while I was going through my footage, so I'm going to do that now. So first up is Twisted Tales, of which I have a full review. You can check it out up above. That was a short story collection. I have not rated that, and I don't think I'm going to. I ended up enjoying it, but I thought there was a lot of room for growth. Not my favorite, but I also don't read a ton of short story collections, so I don't have very much by way to judge it on. So you can find out more about it in that link up above. Listen to Between Us and the Moon, and I did enjoy that book. I gave that one 3 stars. Younger girl, older guy romance where he could have legitimately gotten in a lot of trouble because she was a minor and the girl was a science nerd and was living in her sister's shoes for the summer, conducting a social experiment to see if she could be cool. Things about it bothered me, things about it I enjoyed. Wishy-washy about it. It was okay. It wasn't fantastic, but it was all right. Also forgot to officially mention Tarnished Crown, which is the 3.5 novella / ongoing story on Wattpad by Aaron Watt, part of the Royals series. It's technically like 3.5, and I think I gave that one 2 stars. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It follows one of the lesser talked about brothers of the series, and I did not like the way that the perspectives were talked about. I did discuss that as well in my full wrap-up of the series. It flip-flopped between 2 different perspectives, and then within those perspectives, flip-flopped between past and present. It just got to be too much. And I didn't care about the past of these particular characters and their relationship because I had already learned about it from the brothers in subsequent books, like passively. So I knew the story, I really didn't care about it. But it is ongoing, so they put up new chapters every now and then. We'll see where it goes, but as of right now, it's like a 2-star read. I also have a list here of my August books and then how they fit into my Read-a-thon challenges. I also have the Read-a-thon challenges up in front of me, so I'm going to go through these and let you know I did complete all 18 of the challenges because I'm a badass like that, and I think I officially read 17 books. This is also the 27th. I might finish something else, but I'm going to call it quits for the vlog here so that I can edit and get it up, so anything else will just kind of be tacked on to next month's tally. First challenge was a 2017 release. I read an arc of Whichwood. which does not come out yet until November, but I read that. You guys already know my thoughts. A book with the same color as my birthstone, that is blue. I was going to read Our Dark Duet. I haven't gotten to it, so Between Us and the Moon is actually a blue cover. A diverse book. I could count Twisted Tales, the short story collection, because the names in that were very diverse. I believe the author's from Kuwait. At least my package came from Kuwait, so I believe that a lot of that was pretty diverse. Also, Whichwood would count for sure. So either way, covered that. Read a book with a title or author with the same first letter as the first letter of my name. Jenny Han wrote The Summer I Turned Pretty, so that is my J author name. Read a book that's related to my favorite emoji. My favorite emoji is the purple heart. You guys know this because purple and hearts. For that, I used Deep, which is the 4th of the Stage Dive series. I love that series, so that one counts. Read a book starting with the letters T, B, or R. I read Twisted Palace, which is the 3rd of the Royals series. Loved it. And then read a book with a summer-themed cover. The Summer I Turned Pretty. Read a book with warm colors on the color, orange, red, yellow, brown. I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Start and finish a series. I didn't start and finish a series, but I did read 2 and 3 of Laini Taylor, Daughter of Smoke and Bone. That's what it is, trilogy, so I'm counting that. Read a book in 24 hours. I read Tarnished Crown, which is the 3.5 novella. Read a new to me author. Morgan Matson is a new to me author. I read The Unexpected Everything, didn't like it. Read a book with water on the cover. On the Fence by Casey West has water on the cover. Read a book set in summer. The Summer I Turned Pretty, On the Fence. Read a book recommended to you by somebody in the book community. I read The Wicked and the Divine, which was a graphic novel series that I've seen Sam from Thoughts on Tones talk about a whole bunch, so that's what I'm counting for that one. 16 is Read a Guilty Pleasure book, and for that I'm picking The Host by Stephanie Meyer, because rereading to me feels like a guilty pleasure when I have so many new books to read. 17 is Read a New Adult book. For that I'm counting Lead, which is the 3rd of the Stage Dive series books. And then 18 was Read a book outside of my favorite genre, for which I am counting The Girl in 6E, which also counts for a buddy read, which maybe wasn't even a thing. But I'm going to count The Girl in 6E because it's a thriller, and that's definitely outside of my normal genre, but I loved the heck out of it. So that was all 18 of the challenges, and I completed them all with my 17 books. August was a really fun month of reading for me. It was the Read-a-thon. I read all the books that I already had except for my audiobooks. I read everything that was from my shelves or on my e-reader that was waiting to be read. I didn't buy anything, except I did, guys. I officially broke my no-buy, and I did it without even consciously realizing it. Bought Wild Becomes You by Ashley Sapp, who's an in-real-life friend who published her first book. It's a collection of poetry, and I had to support her. You guys were great on Twitter and told me that doesn't count as breaking my no-buy. I'm officially back on it. I didn't break it, like, knowingly, willingly. I just really wanted to support Ashley, and I didn't even think about it. I just bought this bad boy because it's gorgeous. Back on the no-buy, and which means Read-a-thon was really successful. My TBR for September, again, all stuff that I have here with the exception of one library book, which is my book of the month for Job and the Librarians. A successful reading month for August. I really hope that you like these vlog style wrap-ups and the way that this went. Editing it is probably going to be an absolute bitch. I'm hoping to get this as short as possible. I think that this is actually going to make my reviews and my wrap-ups longer. I think it gives you a more accurate view of what I thought of the books instead of waiting till the end of the month and not remembering what the book was actually about. Let me know, give me feedback down below. Are you for this kind of wrap-up, against this kind of wrap-up? I believe in September I'm gonna try this again, and then after that I'll try to like reassess and see where everybody's at and what we think about this. That's been my month of reading for August. I hope you guys have enjoyed this style of wrap-up. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I thought about my books. I hope you had a great month of reading. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye guys.